Yo, Flexcast, we are back with our next guest, man. And y'all know we talk to movers, shakers, tastemakers. This is the first time we've had someone from this field come to talk to our audience about this. And so I'm really excited that they're here. I want each of you to introduce yourself and explain what you do, and then we'll get right into it, please.
Okay, so my name is Elvanika Carrington. I go by Nikki. I am a licensed, well, I'm sorry, I'm a master of social work student at Prairie View A&M and a clinician at the Harvest Foundation.
And I'm Dr. Calvin Kelly. I'm a licensed psychologist in the state of Texas and very excited to be here. And I'm the Chief Clinical Officer for the Haevest Trauma Recovery Center.
Hey, let's everyone clap it up for Nikki and Calvin, please. We're so happy that you guys are here. And when I knew that we had people from your field coming to talk, one of the questions that came up on my mind, you guys offer a lot of services. I went to your website, and it's a lot. What services do you guys, and you guys can answer this each if you would like, what services do you guys get requested most, and why do you think that is? If you could breathe on that just a little bit.
Sure, I'm going to let Nikki start.
So one of the things that I get asked about most is counseling services. So people learning that, hey, I've actually gone through some trauma in my life, and I don't know how to deal with this. So that's one of the things that many people ask me about, and asking to see how we can help them navigate and process their own emotions and feelings about certain things, emotional regulation and things like that.
And to piggyback on that, I just want to applaud Austin, Travis County. A lot of people don't know this, but the Haevest Trauma Recovery Center is the first of its kind in the state of Texas. There are only 13 around the entire country, states, I should say, 13 states that have trauma recovery centers, and we represent the 53rd community in the United States to have a trauma recovery center. So kudos to the Austin commissioners, the Austin City Council, the mayor's office, and Travis County commissioners, because this is really a big deal. And the services we offer are not just mental health services, but we have case managers, which is very unique and different, to get people connected to resources and services that they may not otherwise have access to. We have our own psychiatric care, so people can come to us and also get med management. And we happen to be in a building at 6633 Highway 290 East that has about 25 to 30 nonprofits in that building.
Wow.
And I say that because, there's this thing with people that have experienced trauma or people that are seeking help. They have what is called service fatigue.
Yeah.
They get tired.
Yes.
You send them to 3 different services, and they have to go across town to get connected to those services and resources. Well, that's not the case with the Haevest Trauma Recovery Center. We have them all in one building, and that's very exciting for this community.
That's awesome.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
One thing that I love about what we do is that my biggest thing is we take away excuses. Most in African American community, BIPOC community, is that I'm not going to go to a therapist or anyone because I'm not going to tell a white person all my problems.
Yeah.
They don't understand what's going on. They don't understand me. They don't know what I'm going through.
I think that's a valid argument. I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys feel that.
Agree.
I think
And that's why at the Haevest Trauma Recovery Center, our staff is all Black and
yes.
Latino.
Oh, I love that.
So
That's
it is that there's no excuse.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, we look like you. You get 16 free sessions. There's no excuses anymore.
And that's beautiful because not a lot of places even give you that many free sessions. They usually
Yeah.
stop you at what, 4, 6, sometimes 12.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we can extend that beyond the 16 if we need to. If we feel that there's a need, we can take that beyond that. To piggyback, I want to talk about this cultural competence because, Malcolm X said it best. Just because you share my skin doesn't mean you're my kin.
Yeah.
And so there are some of us who are not culturally competent. But when I interviewed this staff, I made sure that they all were very culturally competent. They understood the population that we're here to serve and make sure that they understood the needs and the demographics and dynamics of BIPOC populations. So that's a very important point, and thank you for bringing that up, Nikki.
Wow. I respect you so much as a clinician, being able to work with you for all of these years and having you as a friend. So I am so excited to have you guys here and to talk about this topic because trauma and recovery and mental health services overall has been a large topic in social media. It's been a large topic just period. And more people that look like us are actually finally seeking the service, which was not a conversation we could say our parents and our parents' parents were comfortable having in the past. So that brings me into my next question. How do you think media and society help or hurts the stigma behind therapy or the interventions?
To me, that's a great question because it can do both. Because if you think about it, there are so many movies out there that depict us as African Americans as the strong Black person. We have to be that person. I can't show who I am because that's me showing weakness. That's been my thought process for the most of my life. So just knowing that I have the opportunity to be able to share. And one of the things that I tell people is that my upbringing didn't get me to this point. Because if you looked at how I was raised, I wouldn't be here. I was told by one of my family members that at the age of 18, I was supposed to be strung out on drugs with 2 kids. So that made me more determined to get to a better place. Right. So with media family, they can help you in a sense of if I'm getting help and you can see where I've been and where I am now and can see me grow, then you're going to be able to see that this is beneficial, this works. So being able to show that and to help to be able to share bits and pieces of my stories even with my clients, then it's like, okay, look, I'm back here to pick you up, sister.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I identify it.
I like that.
I love that.
It's complicated.
Is.
It is a very complicated thing, especially when it comes to BIPOC community. Part of it is we have never trusted the system.
Correct.
The system has always portrayed itself as something there to help and to assist. And when they came into our homes and into our families, we found them really disrupting a lot of those connected tissues. So
can help you in a sense of if I'm getting help and you can see where I've been and where I am now and can see me grow, then you're going to be able to see that this is beneficial, this works. So being able to show that and to help to be able to share bits and pieces of my stories even with my clients, then it's like, okay, look, I'm back here to pick you up, sister.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I identify it.
I like that.
I love that.
it's complicated. It is a very complicated thing, especially when it comes to BIPOC community. Part of it is we have never trusted the system.
Correct.
The system has always portrayed itself as something there to help and to assist. And when they came into our homes and into our families, we found them really disrupting a lot of those connected tissues. So what we're trying to do, and what I think a good thing that the media has done, is that athletes, people that look like us, that people who are normal, everyday people like ourselves can look and say, oh, they're struggling with depression, or they're struggling, this is how I feel also. And so that has allowed people to say, maybe I'll try this thing out. And we want people to know this is a confidential resource. Yes. We can't report or share this information with anyone. And so the Supreme Courts and all the courts have recognized that this is a very important relationship that they want you to establish. And so we are grateful for what's happening now. I'm older than most people in this room. And so the reality of the situation is we weren't having these conversations 5-10 years ago.
Correct.
And so the mere fact that we're starting to talk about gender identity, and we're starting to talk about depression, bipolar, and things of that nature in our community, it is absolutely huge. So it has been both a cursing and a blessing and a curse at the same time. The people that I get the most, or that we get a huge referral base from, are the pastors. Believe it or not, the churches are starting to recognize that they need to set boundaries within themselves, because for so long, everybody was saying, go pray about it.
Correct.
And I think we're having this awakening in our
Right.
community.
Right.
That church is not therapy.
It's
They're
right.
two
That's
very
exactly
separate
right.
And that
things.
church
Yeah.
can't heal
Right.
everything.
I think we're
exactly.
I think that's becoming,
And we have pastors now that are really open about their own personal struggles. And so that is helping them to recognize, I can't do this. And it's also helping their parishioners to recognize I can go outside of this venue and get some help in the community. So it's huge. We're excited about it.
That is awesome. So what are some signs of trauma that people may not immediately recognize?
So basically, trauma can affect your body all over. A lot of times we don't really realize that this headache that I woke up with this morning after talking to my boss is a sign of trauma, because whatever happened with my boss was actually a traumatic event for me. So I'm just gonna go back to sleep, and I'm gonna continue to just, whenever something happens, I'm just going to continue to go to sleep. And that's how we actually end up into the depressions, because we're not dealing with the situations that happen as our body is expressing, I need help, here I am. And that's through like minor aches in your neck. We hear I carry the weight of the world on my shoulders, but my shoulder blades are hurting, and not understanding that that's a trauma point. We
don't listen to our bodies.
Right.
We don't listen to our bodies at all. We have that idea of always being strong and being seen as strong, that we don't pay attention.
No. And so it's our body is really what tells us that, hey, I'm stressed, and this is trauma, or this is traumatic for me.
Yeah.
And I think that's important, right? Because when we look at cancer, we look at people who are suffering from cancer, we look at people that have heart attacks and things of this nature. They're not actually dying from what they have. They're dying from the stress, of what they have. The fact that they have this going on, their bodies are just overwhelmed and taxed by this. And so it is not the disease that they have that's often killing them. The leading cause of death for many of them is the stress and the stressors that they're experiencing daily, worrying about this, and again, our community is beginning to talk about this. But, we have to talk and note that trauma, as Nikki pointed out, is something that's more internal, as opposed to having a broken leg or a broken arm, something that can be physically observed. You got individuals who are doing normal stuff as we see it, and they go out the next day and they blow somebody's brains out, or they kill themselves because they're traumatized or they're stressed and overwhelmed by life.
Absolutely. And the entire time you're speaking, I'm thinking about like the secondary trauma of, like, for individuals like us that work in mental health, or the powerful family member that everyone leans on to tell all their stuff to, and they got to carry your burdens and their burdens and his burdens, and they're carrying that actual secondary trauma, that secondhand, everything you went through, I'm going through with you.
That's a great point. And we've got to learn to take care of ourselves. We don't do a good job at self-care. We talk about self-care in BIPOC community. We don't really take care of ourselves. We, to your point, Bree, we take all of that stuff on.
We do.
And we don't know what to deal with, how to unload it.
Do you guys see therapists for the work that you do in helping other people?
Yes.
Yes. What about you?
So I have a group.
Okay.
So I have a group of colleagues around the country where we talk about our cases.
So you guys do have
yes,
support.
we have absolutely.
Definitely.
I wonder what you guys do.
Yeah, my outlet is I run, I go work out, I do my thing. So that's my thing. I make sure I take care of myself. I have a great family support system there, so that's important. I don't put it on them. So we've got to find our thing and really tap into that. One of the things, speaking of self-care, one of the things we're going to be offering at the HTRC, not only for our clients, but for the staff as well, is yoga. We have a clinician on staff who's going to do yoga so that they can release some of that energy, some of that stress. But we also are going to have that provided for the community as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I talk to Bree.
Can we say the website or phone number where people who want to inquire about services with you guys? Can we go ahead and say that while we have you guys here as well?
Absolutely. So you can reach out to HRTC, the Haevest Trauma Recovery Center, .org. Thank you very much. And so you can go to our website. You can fill everything out online. We can do your intake information online, and you can reach us there. Do you remember what the number is?
I do not, but if all else failed, just Google Haevest Trauma Recovery Center. I promise you it pops up first thing.
Yes.
Sign me up for a volunteer activity.
We'd love to have you.
I would come.
I want everybody to clap it up for Nikki and Colin for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with our next guest. Please stay tuned.